OKFM 101.7.
Honorable Dr. Clement Apaak, NP for Busa South, Deputy Ranking Education Committee of Parliament. Memoache.
Yes. I the shoes.
Nabakwadie.
I bring them.
Honorable.
Yeah.
Nabakwadie. Nabakwadie.
Kwam.
Now what to say?
No, beside catching me, yeah, I'll be saying, me new say the me ya no.
Adey.
Me what the saying. Because I Ghana for what the saying.
Oh, there be una me udi nkomo.
Kwam what the saying go ye.
NKY.
Eh?
Ba why kese adey?
Na wa o se de ko ya. Ye be dey aka say ye. Nya. Wa ye suku nsam. Na basic education. Ye do working train. Na ye nso ni ekwaye. Na say kwa the doctor for say ye ni ma no bi ne ye ma me no bi amowo some of the worst affected areas of illegal mining. Stillborn babies. Ya won kwara ne bi kura na ba ku ni ho. Woni nsa. Kwa the pensioners. They say o maya mobo. Nipa mo tuma ye djuma. Asum Ghana. Sa omko ahumuje mu a. Na eja o man so kinya aiboa ho. O man ama mo haircuts. They tuma tisika puduo. Say di ko sika tidra. Na man penia pa yem hyen no na nwiem no odware wom. Can I say I do be ebi? You say I say COVID-19. And the Russia-Ukraine war. When a bro, Concom. What's the public accounts? I out to me for now and say you will go, you will tamale, you will sunyani, you will takradi. Last round I call you. Make a may experiment to be. To be share safe in crime. Before we left, now me pour a bro, roasted corn on the cob. Kwame 5 cities. And me free what me call Pumbisi because you free Akano. Now you better say war northern sector. It's the kind echo me person so. Now me say me ko boy Jumabo Pro. For 2 weeks, Asana Mabishia, my colleagues were Tamale. And this was just at the beginning of the harvest season in terms of the northern sector. Ana Bruno Asune DNT. Roasted corn, near me from BC. I went to buy a cup of roasted corn, 3 Ghana cedis. Something that I used to buy for 20 pesos. 3 Ghana cedis. Let me say, Accra 5 cities, Fumbisi 3 cities. Okay, we will continue the experiment. To be free Fumbisi, Eba, Bolaga, and I'm stopping over on Avrongo. The Côte d'Ivoire, Kituano, 3 cities. Kessiano, 4 cities. No, I'm do Bolaga. Bolaga, Kituano, 4 cities. Kessiano, 5 cities. And I'm do Tamale for the first sitting of the Public Accounts Committee from the northern sector. Tabalenso sa 4 cities, 5 cities. She never do Sunyani. Kwame Sunyani 5 cities. The free Sunyani and Yasa Bar and kind for a week. From Accra. And she call Takradi. Takradi 5 cities. Then we went to Ho, small one 4 cities, big one 5 cities. Kwame. Corn, a bro, see, how is this affected by the Russian-Ukraine war and COVID-19? This is a very typical domestic Ghanaian food item. And I'm using that as an example to demonstrate the high cost of living. Now, budget. I spoke on a number of issues, and I spoke about the neglect of the public basic school system. Capitation grant Edika. We owe arrears of 8 terms. 8 terms. Because of that, public basic education in Ghana, freemium. Schools in the they tell you paying. So one talk school desk and answer kunya ama headmasters, head teachers have been borrowing money to run our public basic schools.
Now, I honorable issue when you are so obi busam say mumu ba 1 mobile day 2 mo first can way.
First of all, no, there ought not to be a reason why a buying
okayfm 101.
Eddie Sika. It is important. These are allocations of mayor approval of parliament. There ought not to be a reason why government should fail to remit funds for very important sectors of the economy, especially education. And it's a matter of priority. I say, Constitution say education should be free. And we like to boast that public basic education is free. And Sunday senior secondary education, so I say it's free. Do you know that the reason why we can say that public basic education is free is because of the capitation grant, which is 10 Ghana cedis per people per year. And yet we are not remitting. At the same time, no, we can get money to go and dig the most expensive hole in the world. Sikaya share kwa ibubu inaya ewoho. Jaji for adani na asifo. Foreign embassy bikwa na ewoho. If you quantify the amount of money that Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government have wasted in the name of fulfilling the personal pleasure, Kwame, Nkebe Tria capitation grant arrest Nukwa Biaka, special schools, school for the blind, school for the deaf, by this time, they will be in a better state. So it's a matter of prioritizing what is important. Kwame time and a man penny was private jet and asset for $20,000 an hour. Kwame, Keta inland port. What is said CEO? There must you appointment or staff of 30 the last time I checked.
Keta port.
Yes.
Now, port no. Ewo.
Now port no one kasa me no nka yenim. Obi ya Captain Smart or the media for echo block back na block back no.
Enti no CEO no ono no at inland port Keta inland port no ten.
Ana so one ka tie me ka on the staff.
Me ba jo me bo oni Keta ho ba on kan ha.
Na o Keta Captain
na wo na why we check no the office way.
And I think I was so busy on a man appointment.
But sounds so we checks no or staff be 30. And I can just say so that we can follow.
That was documented.
Oh, okay.
The point I'm making is try abaya when you sikapa then of 40 sikapa but in same. I been see that. I want to share been see that. Hey, Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government. Say you sika pa. And within this period, this government revenue alone over 800 billion Ghana cedis. Come 3 oil wells. COVID, I say, now a year pandemic, buy. The amount of money that came into government coffers as a result of COVID, come 30 billion Ghana cedis. In the year of COVID itself, we share revenue from Ghana Revenue Authority, 40 billion. Then we ask,
but say na Auditor General's report to ba mrase bedwam ema mo kenkan hu where afane ade
come na say Auditor General report e bana say kenkan really issues, and that is another issue I have by report na say the bana say you presenting the report to the speaker no do to moi. It then becomes the responsibility of the Attorney General to let the law work. But I know why you can say, now, Accra Sky Train project, Sky Train, sir, another Sky Train, I'm not the near frontier, I knew.
Ohini.
Sir, you know that.
Dog.
Minia.
Sir, when you want fast Sky Train now, ma. Enka conversation enka discourse eye busam sade me ankasa me wo fa Jogati ena ye ni minister for railways ena wo sha ase se wo lay race no ni ade a nim se on my committees ka umpa chokosi sen ena akokan Sky Train asem
kwame so ya ba ho ka o
ai question will be go busa Peter Mewu say Sky Train say hey my friend don't bring it up, it's not feasible.
Now only
the whole minister no yet in charge of railways they say any feasible say when him say
and you know when that is why the NPP must go to opposition so that we hold them accountable. As far as they remain in power and they control the state. Why Esa say, democracy, the executive has so much influence, There is no way we are going to hold them accountable if we don't get rid of them as far as the governance of this country is concerned. That money could have financed public basic education. By this time, textbooks are the changing curriculum since 2019. No school in Ghana has a full complement of the textbooks, would have been able to pay for the other 40% for the textbooks to be produced. It's been also, but I want our friend. When I'm coming there, also be said,
what raise the point be said? Skebi and I provided Wi-Fi. Ako schools bisikano according to phone, but the job was not executed. And no at the same.
Requirement I say. 2020 manifestos of the NPP, and in fact, the manifestos of the NDC. There are two parties in our share. So, given the opportunity, we will provide free Wi-Fi to public educational institutions. Ghana for the 2 million share NPP for 2016. Mental health education is my area, and the whole of 2016, 17, 18, even up to 2019, I was pursuing the various ministers, first Napo and then later Educhum, about when the proposal to provide free Wi-Fi was going to be given effect. usual parliamentary hazards. Questions be brief, and maybe beside. A chain of that is Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia. They make an announcement. This was 2020. Almost, I think it was around February 2020. I have the documents. The government has awarded the contract for the provision of free Wi-Fi to our secondary schools, 46 colleges of education, and our regional directorates of education, and our district directorates of education.
okayfm.
At the 2020, the quite about war. The buyer, I say, NPP, I said, in Kunumino. When ministers were nominated during their vetting, this issue came up. If you look at the hands-on, and I followed it, and I have all of the documentation. I didn't have the report of the appointments committee questions from Mubisai, just because of my interest in some of these areas. All the ministers who had a role to play, the former Minister for Education, Honorable Matthew Poku Prempe, the current Minister for Education, Honorable Yahweh Bichum, and the Minister for Communication and Digitalization, they were all asked. They all repeated what the Vice President said. So the program has taken effect. But now the person the details, to be finally questions, asking the Minister for Education to tell us which company was selected, how the company was selected in terms of procurement processes, the value and terms of the contract. My questions have not been answered. Now, Africa Education Watch, any profit state, Africa Education Watch did a sample survey of a number of secondary schools to find out if the free Wi-Fi service is indeed available and if it is being used, and whether Ghana for any value for money. I mean, later on I will send you their report. It's the report of Africa Education Watch, you know. That was where I got the first hint. Sir, government has signed a contract of 84 million Ghana cedis with a company called Busy Internet. The 84 million CD contract was for 5 years. And that was a fixed contract. Then there is a recurrent aspect of it, which is 6.3 million Ghana cedis a month. You know, the 84 million, no, for the infrastructure setup, and then the 6.3 million per month, you know, to pay for the service. It's a recurrent expenditure. And yet, the report that Africa Education Watch put out, which collaborates what I had already known, it has many headmasters, any other people in the educational sector, you didn't come on, colleges of education, you didn't come on. Many knew that. Sir, although the setup was done, we were not getting value for money because the service was not available or it was so poor that the students and the schools could not utilize it. It's in terms, you know, the schools themselves were buying their own Wi-Fi for use, paying for their own Wi-Fi. So when I saw the African Education Watch report, it confirmed what I'd been hearing. Because I mean, research. And I've spoken about it. But once I now had the opportunity of seeing a formal research being done, although not in all the secondary schools, and then the sample was sufficient to suggest that at least 70% of the schools had reported that the service was not serving the interest for which we were paying the 6.3 million a month. District Directorate of Education, me and Busa South, any of you others, me and call. When I asked them, they said it wasn't working. Colleges of Education, I met some principals when they came to the Public Accounts Committee. In confidence, they told me that it wasn't working. And you know, the questions
wasn't working.
I'll continue to ask, and they said, why have we contracted a company and paid $84 million cedis, and we are paying 6.3 million Ghana cedis a month for a service that we are not getting value for money for? These are the issues that I have raised.
Why?
Because question me finally 3 years to me. 3 years.
Any transfer. Now because 3 years
And look, let me tell you the truth.
Oh, yeah.
The fourth estate is doing some serious work on this matter. They interviewed me. I know they have interviewed many people at the ministry and as for and check but Ghana for you will need papa money Ghana. I can tell you on authority that although I have not received the contract from the minister, no, a good Ghanaian citizen has made that contract available to me as I speak. I've seen it. I have seen the contract.
okayfm.
And check. When the fourth estate breaks the story, we will come out with more details. The people of Ghana deserve better. We cannot be paying for services that we don't benefit from. That is out here. Now I'm an no.
Any medal no pay.
Kwa mesmeda asile mo ya menye adwuma.
Adwuma so da ase okay 101.7 na latest from your
okayfm 101.7